Nicosia is the last capital in the world to still be divided militarily, and the Green Line at Ledra will intrigue visitors who want to know what it's like to cross a city checkpoint in the 21st century. On both sides of the divide there's a lot to see, like the Selimiye Mosque, a hybrid of Christian and Islamic architecture, or the Cyprus Museum, the premier collection of ancient artifacts on the island. Nicosia is an untouristy, business-like place, but gives you a real sense of urban life in Cyprus. Today we share the top 10 best things to do in Nicosia so you can plan a trip and experience all the exciting attractions and activities this beautiful city has to offer. Starting with number 10, Selimiye Mosque. Here's the slightly confusing site of a mosque adapted from a former Gothic church. St. Sophia's Cathedral, the original Christian building, was started during the Crusades by the Lusignans, but never actually completed, even though it was the foremost church on the island. Western eyes will recognize all the features of a Gothic church, including the traceried windows and flying buttresses, but bestriding the front of the building are two tall minarets. The conversion to mosque took place after the Ottoman conquest in the 1500s when most of the Christian iconography was removed. At number 9 is the Cyprus Museum. The island is a treasure chest of ancient civilization. Almost every town has an excavation site close by. Many of the best pieces discovered at these digs are on display at the Cyprus Museum, the island's biggest and best archaeological exhibition. This is a gateway to Cyprus' rich history, and what's great about the attraction is that only pieces recovered on the island are on display. At number 8, Ledra Street. Traditionally Nicosia's main shopping artery, Ledra Street was sealed off by the militarized boundary between North and South Nicosia after Bloody Christmas in 1963. The street was only reopened in 2008 and has now become a hub for commerce once more. The reopening was a big step for the improving relationship between once irreconcilable parties. The Shakola's Tower on this Ledra Street has a public observation tower on its 11th floor, with a wide-ranging view of the city and the North-South UN buffer zone as it ripples along the landscape. At number 7, Kyrenia. On the North Cyprus coast, Kyrenia is a gorgeous little port town framed by the formidable peaks of the Pentadactylos Mountains. The harbor was fortified by the Venetians, who bolstered its imposing fortress with thick roundels that have survived for almost half a millennium. You could take a tour of the old town's narrow alleys and take dinner by the water to round off a perfect day trip. If you visit Kyrenia in June, you can get to know the town's Turkish culture when a variety of Turkish and international bands put on concerts. At number 6 in our list, St. Hilarion Castle. High above the road that snakes down to Kyrenia is this astounding building that deserves an hour of your time. From a distance, this castle, that guarded the historic mountain pass between Nicosia and Kyrenia, can be difficult to pick out from the white stone bluffs that protect it. Once you're on the site, it's a real joy to explore the fragmented stairways, walls, and towers, while the view encapsulates a massive sweep of the northern coast. St. Hilarion started out as an upland hermitage, but the Byzantines and then the Lusignans fortified the complex to defend against Arab coastal raids. At number 5, Bellapais Abbey. One of the island's most famous tourist attractions, thanks to writer Lawrence Durrell, Bellapais is a wonderfully old-fashioned village of humble whitewashed cottages that sprawl down the hillside, ending at the evocative ruins of Bellapais Abbey below. British author Lawrence Durrell wrote the book Bitter Lemons of Cyprus while living here, immortalizing Cypriot village life at the end of the British colonial period. Although the village is incredibly picturesque itself, the main site is Bellapais Abbey, an old Augustinian monastery full of intricately carved arches and cypress trees surrounding its cloister. At number 4, Famagusta. The old town of Famagusta, also called Gazamagusa, riddled with crumbling Gothic buildings, is the most beautifully evocative town on the island. Ringed by a mighty border of well-preserved Venetian fortifications, the old town is stuffed full of golden stone ruins of basilicas and remnants of palaces that sit incongruously between rows of dilapidated houses. Right at the center is the glorious Lala Mustafa Pasha Mosque, main square, which was once the Cathedral of Agios Nikolaos and is a beautifully preserved example of Gothic architecture. At number 3 in our list, ruins of ancient Salamis. Along with ancient Kyrenia, ancient Salamis is Cyprus' most important ancient kingdom archaeological site, with a wealth of ruins to explore. The gymnasium and baths complex, with its fine statuary and grandly columned courtyard, is the main attraction, but further into the sprawling site are vast remnants of 2 basilicas, an agora and a huge reservoir complex. Nearly all the remains date from the city's Greco-Roman and Byzantine eras, but Salamis' history stretches much further back. At number 2, Buffavento Castle. Less visited than St. Hilarion Castle and more dilapidated, Buffavento Castle is a windy, rugged outpost of a ruin atop a craggy mountain summit to the east of Kyrenia. The ruins here are not extensive, but they lie in a picturesque location, towering over the forested slopes below. Buffavento is thought to have been built during the Byzantine era, and Crusader Richard the Lionheart once took ownership of it. Strategically, it played an important role in guarding the coastline along with St. Hilarion Castle to the west. Check out the number 1 places in our list, Nicosia's Old Town neighborhood. Although Nicosia doesn't have a huge amount of big-hitter tourist sites, the true attraction of a visit here is simply strolling the narrow lanes of the Old Town district. Ledra Street is the main drag through the Old Town and is lined with cafes, restaurants, and shops, leading right up to the Ledra Street Green Line crossing post to North Nicosia. Skirt off Ledra Street into the tumble of alleyways to check out the Ottoman mansion architecture of the House of Hatzigeorgakis Kornesios, 20, Patriarch Gregoriou Street, who was the island's dragoman during the late 18th century, and the Amirai Mosque, Trikoupi Street, which has a 14th century Lusignan entranceway. Now it's time to hear from you. What's your favorite things to do in Nicosia? Is there something we missed? Let us know in the comments section below, and don't forget to give this video a like and subscribe to Greenable if you haven't already. Click the bell icon to stay updated on all our latest content.